Alright, so I'm not entirely sure what to expect with this. But I do want to put a forewarning that this is not going to be like a family vlog style like we normally do. This has some adult issues that are going to be discussed. Could get a little chaotic. Don't know. We're going to find out. But welcome to Nashville.
Are we going to allow this in our state? Are we going to do what they want us to do, which is sit back in silence and allow our kids to be victimized? But here's the thing, I'm not going to leave it to my kids to fight this fight. We don't leave it to our kids. We stand up and we fight. Okay, listen. Now, we do not affirm confusion. We affirm the child. When a child is confused, we affirm him. We give him the sort of affirmation that he desperately longs for and needs and deserves. Every child is protected from this madness. So the other side, they can shout and they can scream and they can call whatever names they want. None of that will dissuade us because this is a battle of good versus evil. We're fighting for people who cannot fight for themselves and shouldn't have to. That's what we're fighting for. We're in this for the long haul.
Change doesn't happen in Washington. It doesn't even happen across the street. It happens right here with we the people. And we have been on the side of being civil and kind. We have not screamed as other people have screamed at us while we're trying to be heard. We are the ones being censored on social media. This is the last day in public square in America where we can speak freely. And we will not be silenced by people with fascist mindsets who want to quiet us. That's why it is so important that we become that voice. Like sexual exploitation every day. And gender ideology and radical sexual ideology are deeply intertwined. You cannot separate them. They come together. They're here to sexualize our children to be taken down by this fascist extremist.
I'm going to say, all the people I follow in the media, the guy that's out there putting it on the line, making the difference, actually doing the stuff. Let's hear it from Matt Walsh. Take care of our kids. And there is nothing worse that we can do for our kids. And those that want to mutilate our kids, she's willing to stand up and tell the truth no matter the cost. Please welcome former Congresswoman, 2020 presidential candidate, who hosted the new podcast, Tulsi Gabbard.
Because our kids are having their childhood stolen from them. Young girls who are tomboys. This is what's at stake here. Trying to silence those of us who are here to speak up and fight for our kids. Our kids need us now. They need to hear our voices speaking up for them. They need to hear your voices of courage, your voice of truth. Exercise your right to free speech. Exercise your voice and cast your vote because who in power matters.
Our laws and policies must promote human flourishing, not stifle it. We must pass common sense.
To end this mutilation of children, to stop these irreversible hormones and sex changes on children who cannot consent. The truth is we're here because of you. You know, it's interesting to hear them call this fascism when you stand up. You are that coach and you're what we need in Tennessee, not just to show up today, but to show up every day, to not relent, to stand up on a whole host of issues, to make sure that this is a state where our children are free from the clutches of these communist tyrants who want to control every part of their lives. This is not a state where children will be safe. Thank you guys.
think my favorite part about that is a black woman yelling "F you white man," and then the white man behind me echoing "F you white man." It's great.
Fuck you, terrorist! Fuck you, terrorist! There are many reasons a child or teenager might think that they're transgender. The transgender is not a condition. It's a verb. It's something you do through a choice you make. No one is born in the wrong body. That's hogwash. Many states working on that.
Hello everybody, my name is Chloe Cole, and I flew out here all the way from California. I actually had a relatively normal early childhood. I had interests that were typical of a girl my age. I loved pink, purple, and blue, skirts, dresses, necklaces, dolls, and I also liked drawings, video games, and playing in the dirt, or with my older brother's Legos, or Nerf guns, or toy trucks. As I got older, I started to associate with and relate more to boys, and I found it more and more difficult to connect with or even understand other girls my age. Immediately be recommended, bombarded with trans-identifying kids, unachievable body standards, and even softcore porn to my parents with a letter that I left on the table, asking them to refer to me by the name Leo and call me their son. They wanted to support me, but they were at a loss of what to do for me. And so they turned to the help of healthcare professionals, who went on to coerce them into giving up their role as parents and letting me do as I please. We had no idea these so-called doctors and therapists were just butchers and liars.
What do you think he's gonna do with that machete? Yard work?
Maybe trim some trees.
Hi, sweetie. Hello. You are adorable. Hi.
Oh my God.
I'm like, I can't help myself with the dogs. I didn't touch the witch dog though. The witches have a dog. I ain't touching that dog. So how was that for your first rally? You like that one? Little anxiety up a little bit?
Well, too much anxiety.
A little too much anxiety. So this guy back here that's in the Halo mask that looks like the game I used to play when I was a kid. Him and his little group, they parked where we parked. They put their little masks on, they get out with their flag. They drive a Mercedes-Benz and it has Williamson license plates. So if you know anything about Tennessee, and where Williamson is, Williamson County that is, and driving a Mercedes-Benz, and you get out and you say you're oppressed, it's pretty funny. So I think the best part was when Robby got up there and he said, it was something to the extent of like, I want you to yell F you fascist this entire time if you're gonna vote Republican. Because that's all the crowd was yelling, that little disruptive crowd was yelling was F you fascist. So, yeah, and sure enough, of course, people started yelling it, and it's just funny. It's just the middle finger thing, like fascist, bigot, racist, that's it, the 3 words. They don't have anything else. There's a commonality between the counter protesters that were here. I just can't put my finger on it.
It was so great. They're like, do you want to do on the stage? And he's like, yeah.
Maybe it's the gas masks or the Protec helmets or the radios or...
I don't know.
Like, are they on special ops or something?
They look funny.
Special something. All right, so that was a really good turnout. I was surprised by actually how many people were there. There were like a good handful of people that follow the channel that were there that said hi. I was really excited to see that. Very appreciative of all that. But good turnout. So a little background on that. Matt Walsh, if he's best spot to find info on him would be on Twitter at Matt Walsh blog on Twitter, and you could see this original video that they uncovered that was at Vanderbilt at the medical unit, where they were doing these gender affirming surgeries and stuff on little girls, because it's a big buck opportunity for the hospital basically. So it's another dash in the medical industry that right along with the media groups, we just don't trust them anymore. After you've seen what went on over the past 2 years, how many people put their ego above everything else and ditched all the values and morals and principles and pushed those aside for money and everything else, and yeah, just
just don't trust them anymore. So, but great turnout. So huge shout out to Robby Starbuck and Landon Starbuck. They are just spearheading this movement to save our kids, and especially just fighting for Tennessee altogether. So huge thank you to them. Matt Walsh, obviously, for bringing light to all of this and putting that rally together. To Chloe Cole that came and spoke. What courage for her to come and speak out against everything that she's gone through and that she's seen, to come all the way up from California and share all of that, as well as Tulsi Gabbard coming out and everybody else that spoke. So a big thanks to all of them, and a big thank you to Tennessee and Nashville and all y'all that showed up and are actually fighting for our kids, because it means something to show up and voice your opinion more than a like, a share, or a DM, because the DMs, like my DMs, don't fight for our children. So you can affirm all these actions and all the videos or all the content you see and stuff that everybody else is doing, because you're too busy. But until you actually stand up and you start fighting and get by our side, that's when things change. Because believe it or not, this state is going to... I'm not going to say it, but it's not headed in a good spot. Let's just put it that way. And that's just because we're putting paychecks and everything else up on pedestals. So we'll see where this ends up. But thank you, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll get back to some fun now in the next videos. That's it from East Tennessee.